Hello everybody, my name is Brad Johnson. Through the Empowered Light Expo, I'm going to be doing work with the being that I channel. So I channel what's known as a extraterrestrial, multi-dimensional consciousness known as Adronis. This is referred to as a Syrian multi-dimensional consciousness. Now, he is basically extraterrestrial in nature. And I started channeling him back in 2008. And during that time, I started just getting an understanding more about what he was about, what he came to offer. And he really represents a spiritual teacher in another dimensional reality. So I go off into an altered state, but I'm not leaving my body or anything like that. My soul's still in my body. Adronis comes through, and it's kind of like tuning a radio dial. Adronis isn't serious. He operates on a certain vibrational frequency. Now, this is actually possible through all of you with our hearts. So I started communicating with him back at that time. It started off with doing what's known as channeled writing, where you basically just get inspiration to write words on a page, and you're not really thinking about it. Over the short time afterwards, I got into vocal channeling. So if people are familiar with ones like Abraham Hicks or Bashar or many other different forms of channelers, this is what I do with the being known as Adronis. So I've been working with him now for over 10 years, and the information that he provides, it's almost like a universal encyclopedia. He has a vast amount of information. He helps people. He's able to scan people and get impressions about what type of energies or mirror consciousness they need to help transform themselves. You need to start talking to your body. You need to start talking to your systems. You can even talk to your body as a collective, and it'll tell you exactly what it needs you to do. So he is very transformational, and he's a mirror consciousness. So I will be doing a presentation with Adronis, as he'll be talking about shifting into the new Earth. What is happening right now is your Earth is on the verge of splitting. Moving from one density Earth into another and looking into the changes that are ahead and helping all of us with some practical knowledge and methods that can assist in this transition that we're experiencing currently. What we are sharing with everybody here is the importance of love, the importance of understanding, the importance of compassion, the importance of working together, the importance of coming together, the importance of forming community. That is what's needed on your planet right now. What we are here to do through these individuals who we will interact with will help them to understand that love is always the way.
I'm Sue Greenwald of the Empowered Light Holistic Expo, and I thank you so much for your support today, for myself and Brad and all that we do, and what we do ripples out to all that is. I'd like to announce my new friend, Brad Johnson, who's going to be channeling Adronis today. Yay! How many currently watch Adronis videos or know who Adronis is? Right? Excellent. Almost everybody in the room. And I think Brad is going to talk a little bit about himself and who Adronis is, and then he's going to go right into the session. Thank you again.
Great. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, so again, thank you everybody for being here. Like I said, most of the audience here is familiar with how Adronis works. For those of you who have never heard of Adronis before, just for you who didn't raise your hand, are you guys familiar with Bashar, Abraham Hicks? You know that? Okay, it's very much like that, okay? So I channel what's known as a extraterrestrial, multi-dimensional consciousness known as Adronis. And this started back in 2008. And I was actually just writing a science fiction novel because I started out as a filmmaker. I started as a writer, a marketer as well too. Tech support, PC background. That was my background, right? So just being able to research extraterrestrials and finding out more about them, because I wanted to have it for the story. I wanted to find out what's the real truth, what's behind all of these people talking about abductions and extraterrestrial visitations, etc. So I started doing research online, and I was just blown away by what I was seeing because I never expected it to go this particular way. I was just basically looking at, the grays and maybe aliens that are just chomping away at people and doing horrible things, but I saw more of a spiritual aspect of ETs, and that extraterrestrials are very much like us, much more advanced on a spiritual level, but they believe in a one infinite creator. They connect to deeper levels of consciousness, and that as we move into deeper levels of consciousness, we'll be able to connect with them as well too. And this blew me away because this is never my perception of how ETs were conveyed in Hollywood or in common TV shows or anything of that nature. So instead of doing the book, I decided to put it aside because I wanted to look into this a lot more. And I started to look into channeling. So channeling, of course, is one who is entering the state to align to another consciousness, and that consciousness is coming through them. And so I started listening to Magenta Pixie. She was one of the first channelers that I met. I had interviews with her as well, too. I met another one named Blossom Goodchild. There was an October 14th, 2008 prediction that she did about a 5-mile craft that would hover across the skies for 3 days. And I was blown away by that because I never heard anything like that before. And then eventually I discovered Daryl Anka and Bashar. So Daryl blew me away. Bashar blew me away. And because I listened to a lot of other channels and they were good, but when I listened to Bashar, it was just so transformative, so powerful. And I actually started to talk to Daryl through emails and just say, Daryl, what did you do? Like, how did this soul begin with you? What kind of channeling practices did you do? And he got back to me. This is when he wasn't so busy. And he would tell me, I did some meditations about, color light vibrations. And I actually was able to talk to him about on a radio show. That's actually on my YouTube channel as well, too. And he just said, a lot of it has to do with trusting the energy. A lot of it has to do with, knowing that you're not in the driver's seat, you're in the passenger seat, and Bashar is driving. And it's kind of like trying to fit Hoover Dam through a garden hose, right? It's like everything's trying to come through you at once, and you just have to work on grounding yourself, centering yourself, and in doing that, he says, you don't really need to go into a trance state. You can just go into a consciousness state where you're receptive to the energy. And all of these things come online. Your alpha, your theta, your delta, they're all there, but they're all stepped up. And so this had to do with the brainwave states. And I was always being told by people like other channelers, oh no, Brad, you need to be like completely unconscious. You need to zonk yourself out. And then Adronis comes in, and then he'll start speaking to you. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Not with me. So basically, I got a lot of valuable insight from Daryl. And so I could say that he was one who was like a guide. I wouldn't say he was a teacher. He was just giving me some really good friendly advice because I was getting from other quote-unquote strict teachers, strict channelers. I wouldn't call them teachers either, but just about how they did it. And they basically go into almost states of unconsciousness before they bring their entity in. I don't do that. I'm very much in what's referred to as the alpha and theta brainwave states. And so I go off into an altered state, but I'm not leaving my body or anything like that. My soul's still in my body. Adronis comes through, and it's kind of like tuning a radio dial. So basically, if I'm here, Adronis is in Sirius, he operates on a certain vibrational frequency. Now, this is actually possible through all of you with our hearts. So when a person is in love with another person, they align to their frequency. Now they start thinking exactly how that person thinks. They start feeling exactly how that person feels. This is exactly what I do with Adronis. My own rhythm of vibratory energy connects with him. And now we vibrate on the same level, and my goal is just being able to hold that while he comes through. And then he's able to adjust his frequency as well, too, to match mine. But it's kind of at a half level. It's at a bridge. So, again, back in 2008, December of 2008, that's when I started to channel him. And he came through, and he says, Brad, I'm a future version of you, 297 years in the future. I've come back at this time to assist in your spiritual evolution. And the nature of our contract is that as you spiritually evolve, others will evolve with you. Is this something you want to do? Of course. But of course, in 2008, when I was starting to channel him, I literally thought I was going nuts. I thought I was going crazy. I said, okay, is all of this real? Like, what's going on? I was sleeping. I would go to sleep at night. I'd get downloads in the middle of the night. I'd feel like I'm in a non-physical classroom. I'd wake up the next morning. I'd know things I didn't know before. I was getting all these memories coming back to me. I was getting all these downloads coming into myself. And that's all downloads are. Downloads are memory. So you're getting downloads. You're getting memories of different lifetimes existing in other universes that are becoming aligned to you here and now. And that's just some of the amazing stuff that we're going to talk about with Adronis today. So there will be a Q&A session that will follow after the presentation. Adronis is really going to be talking about the Rainbow Bridge. He's going to be talking about the New Earth. But again, like I said, when I started channeling him, he was a fifth density being. Then we got into December 21st, 2012, his energy shifted, and he moved from a 5th density being to a 6th density being. And now just recently, within the past couple of weeks, Adronis has shifted again. He is now a 7th density being. He is much more of an angelic intelligence now than an extraterrestrial intelligence. So he has shifted simply because of the path that I've chosen to walk right now, which is the path of oneness to God, to connect back to the Creator, to connect back to the divine in that harmonious way. And so as I've done that, he shifted his energy now and saying, well, Brad, this is what I represent now because you're walking that path. So he is, again, more of a heightened energy, but he's more so in the energy of an archangel right now than just that of a simple extraterrestrial consciousness. He is simply representing that extraterrestrial consciousness, but I'm actually seeing him with wings right now as well, too. I'm seeing with all this beautiful light around him, like just pure angelic servant of God. That is his energy right now. So it's going to be really exciting with this whole interaction. So I think we're probably going to have about a half hour to do the lecture with Adronis. Then after that, we're going to probably have the last hour, I would say, dedicated to Q&A. So again, if you guys have not put your name down already, there's papers that are handed around. If you guys don't have your name in the ballot, just let me know. And Daniel and Lauren can come around, and you can just put your names in the hat. We just randomly draw and pick out people who are going to come up. Sue, do we have a little area where people can come and ask their questions, or they just do it in their seats? Or?
Come up right up here.
Okay, sure, that sounds good. Yeah, and they can have the microphone in their hand as well, too. Okay. All right, great. So I'll just let those people get the names in there. So I'm just going to take a moment. I just want to get the stand up here because when I'm channeling Adronis, I don't have a microphone in my hand. So Adronis is very playful. He's a very playful energy. But when he comes through, he's a mirror consciousness. And what that means is that he looks very, very deeply into you. And he may tell you certain things that may not have been relating to your question. It all just depends. I can't predict him. He comes through and he acts in his own way, in that particular way. But people have a lot of fun with him. He can joke around with you. He can play around with you in that way. I just say if you do have questions for him, just share with your heart's desire, with your heart's intention. And he will do his best to, he says he provides insight, not answers. He says answers exist within you. It's not about him giving you answers. It's about you giving him giving you insight, and then you being able to connect the dots to find out exactly how you will progress and answer your own question. So that's how Adronis works. So I will go ahead now and take a moment. We got the legal crowd behind us, so hopefully it won't be too loud. And then again, I'll bring Adronis in. So it just takes me a minute. When you guys see me channeling Adronis, you'll notice that I'll be doing this, what's known as orbiting, okay? And orbiting is just me being able to interlock into the vortex of his frequency. So I basically do that as a means of holding the vibration, holding the energy, and keeping as pure a connection as I can relating to Adronis' connection altogether. So it just takes me a moment or two to bring him through. He comes in quite quickly, and we'll begin, again, the interaction about the New Earth and the Rainbow Bridge. Here we go. And if you guys can't hear Adronis, just let me know. He'll speak louder. Okay. What's that? The microphone should be a little bit more down? Okay, like that? Okay, I just don't want to be too close and knock it against my head, right? So my eyes won't be open. So. All right. Poof, the channel is knocked out. Right? All right, here we go. You can't tell the kids this. They won't stop. It's okay. Adronis will speak loud. All right. There we go. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius. We say hello to you all. How are you this day of your time? Good. We understand that you have little ones that are crazy about Lego. running around in your background, and again, that brings joy to our hearts. And so we will elevate our level of consciousness, we will elevate our voice so that you are able to hear us nice and clear. We thank all of you for being part of this interaction today, and we ask all of you in this moment to let yourselves get relaxed, get comfortable, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all the information that we have to share. Also understand that all that we shall provide for you this moment of your time is simply that of our perspective and our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We have been asked by the conduit to speak in the idea of what you would know as the rainbow bridge to the new earth. Everything that you're going through right now is going through a great state of acceleration. You are noticing that light is coming upon the planet in a great level of bombardment, which means everything upon your planet is going to be lit up. You are therefore noticing that through the light that comes into the darkness, this is a truth exposure time. Not just what happens in regards to your political arenas, your monetary arenas, your governmental arenas, your educational arenas, your sociological arenas, but through your own personal arena. We have termed the year 2019 as the year of disclosure, and that is indeed what it represents. For when you're moving into the alignment of disclosure, you're letting the old go, and you're letting the new come in. That's how disclosure happens. The old needs to be revealed, so the new will continue to happen. We will call 2020 the year of disclosure part 2. That's going to happen again. The next 2 years are going to indeed be, yes, a time of great disclosure. So this is now giving you the window of opportunity to allow yourselves to naturally share what you need to share, not for others' sake, but for your own. Because what you are doing is you're making room within your body on an energetic level. What that means is that you're allowing the old to come out. It is being purged from your body. And as you purge that dense energy out, you now have room for new, fresh, lighter energy to come into your body. This is actually what's helping you with physical healing. If many of you are struggling with physical healing, it's because you have neglected your body for so many years, and now you're trying to catch up to basically completely eliminate those old aspects of old agendas, old attachments, old forms of emotional states that are now ready to come out. It is those who are able to make themselves lighter to move into the next earth. This is what we have termed as the rainbow bridge towards the new earth. So, what is happening right now is your earth is on the verge of splitting. What that means is that it is very similar to how you see a cell divide. When you see a cell divide, you start to see the aspect of mitosis, and 2 cells are being born. This is exactly what's going to happen to your planet in a very literal sense. So the aspect of the shaking up of the world in that sense will not really just be a physical shaking up, but an energetic one as well too. Many of you will start to feel the idea of the planet splitting, and that is what's going to be taking place. Now, there is no exact date for when this is going to be taking place. All we can state is that it is most likely that it is going to be occurring before the end of this current generation. So again, that's the only approximation, because really, it's the Creator themselves that knows what the date is. No one else knows, really. So we can only give you the idea of to watch for the signs. When you're watching the signs, the one big sign you will see is the idea of the old falling, collapsing under its own weight, the aspect of leaders losing their political power, the aspect of, in that sense, different signs throughout your planet that are giving you the impression of what you would know as transformation. The idea in that sense of old structures collapsing, old foundations no longer able to bear their weight, and collapsing into the grounds. And you will also see the signs of new systems coming together, new foundations that are going to be produced. For much of these new foundations will relate to what you would refer to as alternative economy, alternative education, alternative governmental form, and again, alternative degrees about how you are sociologically developing yourselves, which means more people will start coming together. Not forming organizations, but forming what you would know as a group of people-powered structures. So you will start to go a different way. Do not attempt to fight this system. You'll lose. You have to let this system die. And therefore, as you allow it to die, you will start to develop new systems that are based upon the state of equality. It's no longer about the idea of saying, can we resurrect the idea of the current fiat money system that we have? No, let it die. Can we resurrect the aspect of the governmental systems that we have right now? No, let it die. The corrupt will take out the corrupt. That's how it's going to work. Basically, people who are completely contaminated and committed to the degree of power will basically betray those who also want power. Basically, you would say that this is the analogy of dog eat dog. And that's what's going to happen with them. So the idea of your own politics are going to be dissolved by your own politicians. The idea of your monetary system are going to be dissolved by those in that sense that are so committed to try and keeping that old system in control. It will fall under their own weight, because as everything gets exposed, that is the very key ingredient for the foundations of these systems to collapse to the ground. Once they're gone, do not try to resurrect them. Let them die. Let them rest in peace. And now you're developing new systems. For this is already in the works right now. There are new systems as it relates to economic sustainability. There are new systems on technological levels. There are new systems in regards to governance. There are new systems as it relates to education. There are new systems coming up as it relates to transit or transport upon your own planet. There are, again, new systems in place relating to the improvement of your own environment. All of this is taking place, but it is not one or a few persons' job. It's all of your job to see this through. So you need to be here to educate others. That's why you're on this particular earth right now. You have come here to help others out. As you refine yourself, as you improve yourselves, well, you are in the alignment to start working together with others. If you feel down in the dumps, if you feel you have no form of encouragement within yourself, how are you going to encourage others? You can't. So this is the time for you to start working with yourselves. This therefore leads into the idea of the rainbow bridge. The rainbow bridge is a very literal thing. We are not saying this in the form of an analogy. You are all transferring yourselves from one planet to another, and that there will be those that will cross this bridge quite quickly, and there will be those in that sense who won't even touch the bridge. Those that remain in an earth like this, that is all about the old systems, the corruption, the aspect of greed, the aspect of malevolence, will stay here. They do not have enough buoyancy to move themselves into the next earth. Those that, again, are very much committed to manipulating other people, creating their own forms of corruption, lack of cooperation, lack of heart, they simply exist in what you would term as the lower three base chakras. They will stay here because they have not graduated themselves into the degree of love. To move into the next earth requires an open heart. So the more that you are open-hearted, the more that you are loving, that you are compassionate, you are a graduate to that next earth. The next earth will be very different from this one. Not in regards to physicality, in regards to, shall we say, recognizing that you're on an earth. It's not going to have a purple sky. It's not going to have pink water or anything of that nature. It is going to be very much an earth like this one. But it will be much more lighter in density. And as it's lighter in density, you will have a great deal of accessibility pertaining to consciousness, which means that you'll be able to manifest things quite quickly. You'll be able to see a multitude of different realities that you term through premonition to therefore receive. So therefore, the idea of the fourth density Earth are ones who are able to see apparition. They can see spirit. They can also allow themselves in that way to interact with other realities at the same time. So again, it's very much like a dream time, where you're experiencing a multitude of different dreams every single night. But basically, you could see this as other realities overlaying upon your own reality as well. And you're able to move into these other realities at the same time. So you are becoming, as it were, quasi-linear pertaining to the aspect of space and time. This is what we term as the fifth dimension, or termed as what you would know as the fourth density. When you're moving up into this particular sphere, again, it will be very, very different, which means none of you will have any secrets from each other. Everyone will basically have a complete and total clarity of their thoughts and of their emotions. You can't hide things from people. Just what you're noticing right now from people who are very highly intuitive, when you start talking to them, and if you feel that you are lying in any particular way, they can tell you're lying. Well, that's the exact same thing with fourth density. You can't hide lies. And here's the thing. The Creator is not interested in having a lying person going to fourth density. This is an entire cleanse that's taking place, which means the chosen people will be the ones that are heart-centered, will be the ones who are doing their work, their inner work. They will develop their heart. They will open their heart a great deal further. They will bring so much love to those that represent a community. They will be inventive. They will be innovative. Will you still have challenges in the fourth density Earth? Yes, of course you will. They will always have those aspects of challenges. You are still going to decide exactly how you can best spend your time, what you wish to work upon in your way. How would you like to help your neighbor? How would you like to help others? How can you continue to evolve and develop yourself on that level? What new strategies, what new projects would you like to create that aid to this Earth? Because guess what's going to happen to the fourth density population? You're going to start moving back into the way the indigenous lived. That's where you're going. There's going to be less technology and more nature living. So many of you may have houses, many of you may still have vehicles in that particular way, but you're going to go back to Earth because you realize that technology itself is not the answer in regards to your happiness. It is the idea of working with the earth. It's connecting with the trees. It's connecting with the forest. It's connecting with the animals. It's growing your own food. It's being able to be completely self-sustainable as you work between yourself, others, and the earth. That is going to make earth and your life so much more gratifying. You can't find that through technology. Just like many of you have your own phones, your own tablets, your own laptops, your own computers, has this really made your life easier? Not really. You have a form of convenience, but again, many of you concerned about the idea of the dirty electricity that comes through such devices. Basically, many of you are very concerned of what you would term as 5G technology, and that your 5G technology contains a very strong amount of harsh radiation within it. Yes, there are those of you who can transmute that frequency, but then again, everything relating to technology is greatly limiting because consciousness can do everything technology can do and more, which means that all of you can start to develop your empathic abilities, which means that on the fourth density Earth, eventually, more of you will learn to teleport naturally, which means many of you will start to levitate naturally. All of this is attainable because that is indeed what the Creator wants to share with all of you, is that through your own ability to connect and to harmonize and to work together with the next Earth, you're going to become, as it were, superhuman. It is the superhuman realm. Therefore, you're going to establish contact with other civilizations. You're going to now start to connect with other extraterrestrial beings. You may even connect with beings that exist within your own inner Earth, such as your Sasquatch, such as other humans that exist within approximately 5 to 25 miles beneath your surface. Some of them are referred to as the Delphi. Some of them are referred to as the Anshar. Some of them are referred to as Gothans. Some of them are referred to as Telosians, etc. You will be able to interact with many of them. because many of them are starting to be a lot more willing in communicating with you, which means you'll start to develop portal systems. You'll be able to step through one portal system, and it'll take you from your own home into inner Earth. You'll start to develop portal systems that will take you off-world. You'll step into the portal system, and now you'll go into another planet. You'll go upon a surface. You'll go into another dimension. Many of your own scientists that will exist in fourth density will start to develop such features like that. You'll start to develop spacecraft, not the, shall we say, nuts and bolts NASA-style spacecraft that you have right now, but basically ones that you would term as flying saucers. And you'll be able to go across the Earth within a matter of seconds or minutes. You'll be able to explore the outer regions of your star system within a matter of minutes or hours. You'll be able to look at Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, again, just as you fly by. Technically, you're not actually flying, though. When you're actually looking at the aspect of flying saucers, it's not about the idea of flying, as it is more so in the idea in that sense of levitating in that particular way. So you will be able to develop such technology like this. So when you start to move into the next density, this is what's allowing yourself to completely express your creativity on a much more freer level without the idea of the government coming to knock on your door saying you need to stop what you're doing. That's what's happening together with the third density Earth. There is too much control agendas upon this planet. And again, that is starting to fall, but it's about allowing that to completely collapse, because what you're doing is you're pulling out all the weeds of this old garden. And as you start to do that more and more, you'll move yourself into a brand new garden, because this is showing you in that sense the cleanup that you are doing on this planet before you move into another one. This is why many of you are here. You need to start doing the cleanup. You need to start exposing people, because what you're here to do is recruit as many people as you can through the following of love. That's what's required. You are here to bring love into people's hearts. You're firstly here to bring love into your own heart, and realize that as others are starting to develop love within themselves, great relationships are forged, because the earth is trying to reach through to many of you. And again, some of you are deaf to her voice. Some of you are blind to her actions. And so she wants to do what she feels she can do to wake you all up and saying, come back into my body. Stop worrying so much about following technology, of being parts of urban jungles. Come into the real jungle. Work with the trees. Talk to the trees. Communicate with others. And start to live naturally on this planet. That's her greatest message to all of you. So as you go through this transitional period, yes, there will be earth shifts. Yes, there will be transformations taking place. We are not saying that they will be, in that sense, as it were, great disasters. But they are letting you know that there are shakeups in areas that need to be shaken up. The earth, in that sense, is doing everything in her power to getting you to realize exactly what is still being pumped in to the contaminated blood that represents the earth currently, and to decontaminate that blood and make it pure again. And that's your job. You're here to look at other people and say, I want to help you to learn about love. I want to help you to open your heart. You're not forcing them, because it is a co-creation. It's a relationship that's being forged here. And so in order for you to completely work with loving another person, it has to start with you. So when you're crossing this rainbow bridge, those of you that are very far across the rainbow bridge, a screen door will close behind you. And when you're at that screen door, you can't go out from that screen door. You're locked in, which means you're going to see the events and situations of this planet as an observer. So what's happening with your own president, what's happening with your own politics, what's happening with your own monetary systems, you're not really involved with it, because those that are further across the bridge realize that this is all part of a transitional aspect that needs to play itself out. All I'm here to do is talk to people and come back into the state of love. As you have love, you will transcend to that next dimension. So those of what you would say, from what your Jesus talked about 2,000 years ago, the meek will inherit the earth. Two people will be out in a field. One will be taken, the other left. That is what's happening, is that people will actually start to disappear from third density Earth. Some will be transported into the new Earth. Some may actually go through transition, which means their body will go through the transitional process and they'll start to move themselves from one density into another, which means their soul will instantly inhabit the fourth density body while their third density body dies. Now, we have likened this to what you would know as a snake shedding its skin. When a snake sheds its skin, it does not have tears for the old body that it leaves behind. It sheds its skin. It is now a completely new form. It slithers across the grass, and it enjoys its new body upon that grass. And it leaves the old alone. It leaves it to the earth to deteriorate, to return back to the earth. So this will happen to many of you who are moving into the fourth density earth. Two ways. One, you'll just naturally move yourself into fourth density just like that, like your entire presence will disappear. Or two, your physical third density body will die, and you will move instantly into the fourth density body as if nothing even happened. So some people require the aspect of physical transition to move into the next earth, so that there can be an answering state of continuity relating to that situation of that person in question. So some people will actually see that person's third density body, the old skin, pass away and say, oh, well, they left this earth. I hope they're happy in heaven right now. But then they will instantly pop into a fourth density body. Right now, nobody is in the fourth density earth, not yet. There are even souls that are on standby that are waiting for the doors to open so that they can incarnate into a new body. So those that in that sense are transitioning right now off this world are basically waiting in a queue. And there will be a queue where the doors themselves will open, and you'll now start to move into the fourth density earth and the fourth density body. We will say that your own Dolores Cannon will be one of those inhabitants of the new earth. We will say again that many of what you would know as your great speakers upon your planet that have taught you ways of peace will be new incarnates on the fourth density earth. They will have new bodies. So they will go through a birth process, and they will be born there. Others in that sense that are transitory as the gates open will actually see their fourth density body already prepared for them. So that's, again, what many of the angels are doing for many of you, is that your fourth density bodies are being prepared. And so basically what's going to happen is your third density body will reach such a stage of culmination where you'll be able to instantly shed that skin. So it's like when a snake is able to shed its old skin, it's done so because it has prepared itself for its new body. Its new body is now online. It can now shed away the old body. It doesn't need it anymore. And now it moves into the fourth density body, into the fourth density reality. That's what's going to happen to many of you. So many of us, yes, notice through many of you, Adronis, am I going to make it into fourth density? Is my heart big enough? You tell us. Do you enjoy helping other people? Is that a yes or a no? Yes. Let me think about it for a moment, Adronis. I think I kind of do. All right. Do you enjoy helping yourself? Yes. That is, too, an important thing. You want not only to help others, but you want to help yourself and allow yourself to grow. So you're moving into this level. You're moving into the heart level. That's everything that fourth density is about. So if you know that you have compassion, you have love, you have a consideration, you have appreciation for those around you, you are already there. So if we came up to you on the street where you feel that you were homeless, and we looked down at you, and we gave you a drink, and we patted you on the head, and we say, we love you, and now you never see us again, guess what? The actions that we just did graduated us into the next dimension. That's all it takes. It takes the love of yourself to offer something freely to a person. It's not about the idea of saying, I'm rubbing your head, here's a bottle of water, oh, thank you. Yeah, sure, here's the receipt that you owe me this. No, you don't want them to pay money out of their pocket for something that you're giving freely. You want to continue to bring love freely, openly to people. You're not saying, okay, well, that cost me $3, cough it up. No, because that's, again, letting you know that there is still a state of greed that is there. You don't want to be willing to contribute something for the sake of another because you see that one as yourself. How would you feel if you were on the street, if you were homeless, if you felt depressed? What would you do? You would want somebody to come along and help to cheer you up. That's what you're here to do. You're here to notice these simple acts of kindness. That's what's going to bring you into the next earth. Guess what, everyone? You're all sons and daughters of the Creator. That's who you are. So as you are sons and daughter of the Creator, there is no other race within all of the universe that has that particular form of alignment. You are the most powerful beings there is because you are sons and daughters of God. You are sons and daughters of the Creator. There are those throughout this galaxy, throughout this universe, that are still attempting to find their way back to the Creator, to the aspect of love itself. Many of them still wander around lost. But many of you feel that just because other extraterrestrials have spaceships and they go in between dimensions, that they must be so evolved. No, not really. Many of them aren't even at the caliber of what man has. They do not even have that ability to move themselves up into a state of ascension. Technology has been their God. And now what you are discovering is you're moving yourselves naturally into God. And that's something few races can actually do. This is where humanity is leading the charge as sons and daughters of God. You are the ones who are going to be the guardians of this universe. You are going to be ones who are going to be the teachers of this universe. You are going to work together with other evolving races to showing them how they can connect to the divine. That's your great future. You're going to leave this planet, you're going to go to other worlds, you're going to start helping other civilizations to return back to the Creator. That's what you're doing with yourselves right now. Because there's only going to be so far a path that you are going to walk should you only decide yourselves to be self-gods. When you're working as a self-god, you're only going to go so far. We basically liken this into what you would know as the sixth density plateau, where there is the aspect of group consciousness. It is a realm to which we once resided, but now we exist in angelic form, in what you term as a seventh density. And in the seventh density, you are a servant to God. That's it. God's will be done. Creator's will be done. The divine will be done. Because here's the thing, many of you may not realize, God is a person. It is not just an energy. When you are basically saying that I just want to celebrate the energy of Source, you are looking at something that's so intangible, you can't actually put your finger on it. Can you basically have a relationship with something that you're not able to see, smell, taste, touch, or hear? No, not really. You are, again, working too much with the idea of energy, of source energy. And that's a powerful thing, because that does contain the Creator's love. But when you're looking at Mother, Father, God, you're looking at an entity like yourselves. And this Mother, Father, God has a personality just like you. This Mother, Father, God has feelings just like you. So why not put a face on the Creator? Because many of your religions feel that you're not worthy enough to see the Creator's face. Nonsense. That Creator is your parent. It is the one that has created your soul. So when you start to follow the path of a Creator, you become the prestige energy of that Creator yourself as a son and daughter of the Creator. There is not one being that can be stronger than the Creator. But being you as sons and daughters of the Creator, you become ambassadors of the Creator's will. Just as what we're doing right now, being servants of the Creator in angelic form, coming through this conduit and sharing this information with all of you, because that's the path that's ahead for many of you. dedicate yourself, commit yourself to the love of the Creator, and let the will of the Creator flow through you. And as it flows through you, you will see wonderful things coming together. Many of you have basically felt you need to go on this solo path and figure out everything for yourself. Guess what? You can't do that. You'll be lost because you always need some type of guidance. Some of you will basically bring in attachments who feel that they are loving, but they have agendas. So what happens is that through many of you who are born, who may have had in that sense particular forms of deficiencies when you were born, guess what happened? The emotions of your mother and father were so strong that you had weaknesses, vulnerabilities within your body to where other particular forms of spirit entities inhabited areas of your body. Guess what's actually causing many of you to be sick? Attachments, emotional vulnerabilities, some that you have received from your parents on a hereditary level, some that you are affecting now throughout your course in life. And these attachments come through other spirit beings, basically beings that exist in what you would know as your lower astral realms. Many of them are human. Did you know that? They have been so abandoned. They have felt that they could go nowhere. And when they actually embody yourself in an organ that is compromised, they feel like it's a nest. Many spirit beings make nests out of your body. And so they will inhabit your organs, your liver, your kidneys, your heart, your lungs, your liver, etc. Because they don't know what the true haven is. They just want to be somewhere safe. So when you actually have attachments in your body, does not mean that they are negative. Many of them are simply scared because they don't know where to go. They inhabit areas of the body because they are still used to human condition. Which means many of them want to taste what food tastes like. Many of them want to taste what drink tastes like. Many of them want to feel emotions through the human body. Because they are still attached to their human bodies, they will go to others who are vulnerable and they will inhabit certain areas of their body that are compromised. And that's what's happening here. This is basically much in regards to how sickness takes place upon your planet. Some of you blame it on diabetes. Some of you blame it on cancer. Some of you blame it on neurological dysfunctions, chronic illnesses, etc. Yes, that does happen, but when you're actually looking at the trigger point, a lot of it has to do with attachments, emotional attachments that leave yourself vulnerable so that these entities can actually inhabit your body because they miss having a human body themselves. They have to piggyback off yours. So this is why you are doing clearing. You're working with your organs of your body and you're clearing out the entities so that they can go back home. Many of you will call down angels. Many of you will send them completely up to God again. That's not to say that there aren't malevolent entities that can happen within your body. That does happen. But everything is based upon magnetic coherence, which means that if you are compromised with a great deal of anger, you may actually have angry entities coming together within yourself. Like attracts like. So when you start to completely decontaminate yourself, you're sending these entities home. You're bringing them back into the arms of the Creator. You're allowing the angels to carry them away, to go back into higher states of consciousness, because now they are working to get past the addiction of being brought into a physical body that's being used by somebody else. This is not in that way kicking your soul out of your body, but it is again bringing in foreign energy into your liver, your lungs, your heart, your kidneys, etc., that your body is not able to process because that entity does not match an appropriate vital aspect of energy that will help to improve you. It wreaks havoc because it wants, it suffers, it craves, it desires, and it eats away at your energy body. That's why many of you will notice that you'll have blockages throughout your body. Entities are very much what's causing that. And so as you clear that out, as you start to work with other healers, as you start to develop this process with yourself, you'll be able to harmonize with that. You'll be able to purge those entities out. You'll be able to help send them home. That, again, is a very big secret many of you don't even know about. That's what's really causing much of your own sickness. It begins with your own emotional entanglements. And as you're so entangled with energy, it's like a gaping hole in your energy field. And now these entities can come in because they see you wide open. When you're taking good care of yourself, when you're taking good care of your body, you're taking good care of your mind, you're taking good care of your heart, your soul, your spirit, they can't go into your body. You are ironclad. Your energy is so strong and so healthy, they can't penetrate. It's like bouncing off a wall. So that's what you do. You take good care of yourself. You work with your organs. You talk to your body, because your body is a communication device. It can talk to you. It has its own intelligence. So when you are asking, heart, how are you feeling today? I could use a lot more love. And now you're giving it love. Liver, how are you feeling today? You need to get this aggressive energy out of me. It's poisoning me. All right, I'll do that. You need to start talking to your body. You need to start talking to your systems. You can even talk to your body as a collective, and it'll tell you exactly what it needs you to do. Those who are able to do this are becoming much more compatible in higher levels of fourth density. They move up into higher spheres of consciousness. And they do that because they are willing to take care of themselves, and they're willing to work together with others. The Pleiades is calling. It's your guide saying, hey, pay attention to me. All right. So again, this is what we want to remind you of, the importance of taking care of yourselves, the importance of working together with others and educating them. Why do you think so many masters who simply want to retreat back into the wilderness or go into their caves are constantly being summoned out? They're telling you, you don't have the time to go back in a cave. You don't have the time to go back into the wilderness. Because if you do that, karmic energies are just going to come back on top of you. It is not the time to retreat anymore. You need to be out in the open. You need to go where the people are. You need to start helping them. You are running out of time. And when we mean that, is that it's almost time for the harvest. And the harvest represents those who are being reaped. They are being taken off this planet and they are being put into the other one. But again, the whole idea is that we want to bring as many people into the fourth density as possible. And you are all here as the ground crew to try to make that happen. If it doesn't happen, then harvest will be very, very small, which means you'll have a very small population on your planet for people in that sense who are not heart-centered. You have a very easy task as it relates to opening people's hearts. Do you know what you do? Perform simple acts of kindness. That's it. It's kindness to another person. You compliment them. You send them love. You let them know that another person cares about them. That opens their heart. That opens their worlds. And now they're able to go to fourth density just because of that one simple, kind act. Was that difficult for you to do? No, not really. Because what you're doing is you're working more with love, more with compassion, more with heart and harmony. That is what's required. That's what's going to allow other beings to move into fourth density Earth. So as you walk this rainbow bridge upon fourth density, you will see that screen door close behind you and observe everything that's happening and talk to people on the other side. Let them know how much you love, appreciate, and care for them so that they are able to move into the next density with you as well. We thank you very much for this interaction, and we will now allow ourselves to appropriate into the question and answer period. One moment, please, as we return to the conduit, and we'll begin the question and answer period. Thank you. Okay, guys. I'm just going to take a very quick 2-minute washroom break, and then I'll come right back, and then we'll start with the Q&A. Again, if you guys have just come in and you haven't put your names in the box, just raise your hand, and someone will come around and make sure that your name is in the box should you want to ask Adronis a question. Okay? So I'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll begin the Q&A. Okay, great. So we got the last hour now. So again, I'm just going to go back into the state with Adronis, and then we're going to start with Q&A. So again, we'll just randomly pick out some names in the hat, and just come up next to Sue here. Just take me a moment to bring him in, and then we'll start Q&A. Here we go. Let's make sure I don't knock that. Okay. We are back, and we will now begin with your question and answer period. Please proceed in any way you wish. And if we could also have the name of each questioner that comes up, we thank you.
Camilla L.
Hello, Camilla.
Hello, Brad and Adronis. Thank you.
How are you this day of your time?
I am very happy to be here. Thank you.
We are happy that you are happy.
And thank you for your message and
Yes.
for being here for us.
We thank you. That's why we're here, for all of you.
I really didn't have a question,
All right.
but I thought I should sign up. So after listening to your message, I do.
All right.
Your whole sharing with us about sickness coming from entities and being that type of thing.
Yes.
Brings to mind, I have an adult daughter who would be labeled disabled, and I have done a lot of things to help her. And I guess my question is, and I know you don't have answers, but maybe some insight
Insights,
into,
yes.
Is there anything else I should be doing to help her be more comfortable in her body and in this existence?
How does her love feel on a daily basis? Is she very loving?
Absolutely.
Continue that, because that's what's going to help. Now, what you want to work with is what's known as concentrated love. Do you understand what we mean?
No.
So here's what you're going to do. You create simple geometries through your mind, through your thought, and you work with her to create these simple geometries. So let's say, for example, one of those geometries is a sphere, and you tell her that it's now being placed in her arm. And what you're doing is you're concentrating so much love that you have for her, and she is concentrating on so much love that she may have for you or for herself, and that energy is now being concentrated in that orb. And as you concentrate on it enough, you work with each other. So through you doing it, you say, what is the scale on 0 to 10 about how intense love is in this sphere? I feel it's a 10 out of 10 relating to the love that I have in this sphere for her. She answers, it's a 10 out of 10 through the love I have. Very good. Now what we do is we stretch that sphere until it encompasses her entire arm. And now you're talking to the Creator and saying, may all the love energy that is now contained within her arm completely heal any difficulty that she is going through. May it release any attachments. May it release any toxicities or impurities within the body. Let it be so. And now that starts to come in combination. Within the days ahead, she will notice great improvement within her arm. The same thing goes with organs. The same thing goes with your cellular system, with your nervous system. All of these can be healed through intense, concentrated states of love that is applied by the Creator. You're going right to the top, and that's where the Creator resides. The Creator will work with every single one of you. He, she will never turn you down. When you believe in the Creator, knowing that the Creator is there, they are going to work with you in any way you wish. And so you can work with that with your daughter. You can work with that with yourself. You can work with that with others. But here's the key ingredient to how it works the best. Have faith in what you're doing. When you have faith in what you're doing what you would term as faith, love, healing. And now the faith is so strong with you, and knowing that her arm has been worked on, that it's now starting to feel a lot lighter with her. So you're doing that bits at a time. Concentrated areas beginning with simple geometry like spheres. And you're putting that in the body, and you're stretching it out. And it becomes like a very long armband in that way that's filled with this entire liquid love. And now you're working with the Creator and say, Creator, clear out any attachments, clear out any toxicities, clear out any impurities, and allow her hand to be completely improved, her arm to be completely improved. Day by day, as you do this a lot more, she will notice her entire body is going through very powerful regeneration. This is exactly what Brad will be speaking on tomorrow of your time relating to cellular body regeneration. All right?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
All right.
it does. It's actually more of an answer than an insight, so thank you so much.
Now, with you applying that, that becomes the answer.
Okay.
Everything that we're doing right now is just giving you insight, and you apply it, that therefore becomes your answer. Application is the answer to everything. When you put into practice what is being shared here, you experience the answers through yourself, because we're communicating with you from a different universe, and we're coming into this universe as a bridge consciousness through this conduit to share this information with you. You must do the work. The work applies the aspect of the answer. All right?
Okay. And is this something every day or when?
Every day, every moment, anytime
Okay.
you wish to do it, as frequently as possible.
Wonderful. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Susie?
Question?
Hi, Adronis.
Hello.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Hi, this is Susie.
Susie, hello.
Yes, I have one question.
Yes?
You know, I've heard that the Ascension symptoms
Yes.
and other diseases are caused by toxins.
Yes.
Now, I've just heard you saying that we have an entity attachment.
Yes.
So how, is this the same thing or is it something different?
Do you know how a vortex is created? Let's take a look at a vortex. All right? Let's take a look at the idea about how ice itself is created. Before ice, what do you have? You have water. Before water, what do you have? You have vapor. Before vapor, what do you have? You have the ethers. Well, that's exactly the chain relating to this. Toxins are a byproduct to the effect of what's actually happening in atrophy of the body. So toxins get in from a vulnerable area of the body that has low immunity, that cannot have its own integrity to heal itself. So for example, looking at one's arm who's going through a state of atrophy, there has not been a lot of caretaking relating to that arm. It may have been something that was compromised from that person through birth. Because again, there are a lot of hereditary emotions created by the mother and father that may have represented contamination and trauma, that again, this affects the energy field. When you are looking at things in a very harsh, emotional way, that creates discord in the body. Are many of you familiar with a scientist that once existed on your planet known as Dr. Emoto?
Yes.
And his experiments with water crystals? Yes. What happened when he praised and gave love to a water crystal? It was in perfect geometric form. But when he actually said, I hate you, I don't like you, I don't like who you are, you're evil, etc., what happened to the other one? It broke up. And it feels completely contaminated. The exact same thing happens to your body. So whether this is something that is prenatal, that is something that relates to the idea of heavy emotional barrage, that's what happens. Your own energy body becomes corrupted. It basically becomes disintegrated in many different ways. Can it be rebuilt? Absolutely. But if you put no effort towards that, especially not until adulthood, you have a lot of catching up work to do. So what you need to do is going into higher degrees of concentrated love. Now, toxins, metals, viruses, pathogens, yes, but those are a byproduct to something else. It is a byproduct to one who's feeling atrophy within the body. So it is your emotions, your belief systems, energies that corrupt because there is harshness involved. That therefore affects the integrity of that area of the body. It becomes compromised. And now viruses can gather in that particular area. Toxins can gather in that particular area because it has been compromised. So what you're doing is you're allowing the vortex to come in. Through the ethers, this is purified. Now through the vapors, this is purified. Now through the water, this is purified. Now into ice, this is purified. Physical body, mental body, emotional body, spiritual body. So when all of those are in harmony, you are now no longer compromised to the idea of a hurt or unhealthy arm. That arm is now being fully regenerated. What we are telling each and every one of you is that nothing is impossible. Your body can be completely healed with any injury you wish. But many of you, again, stick too much to science and saying, well, Adronis, scientifically it's impossible to repair this particular injury. We're telling you it's not. But again, all we can do is offer you insight. You have to discover the answer itself. How deep are you willing to make your faith? How deep are you willing to be certain as it relates to these states of healing that can flow through you? Because if you are absolutely certain, guess what else you'll be able to do? You'll be able to move mountains. It is exactly as your Jesus Christ said. If you have faith no greater than this grain of mustard seed, and you say to the mountain, you will move, the mountain will move. Nothing is impossible. And guess how you get to that level? Commitment to the Creator. Love to the Creator, dedication to the Creator, because now God's essence is upon you. And now you hold the essence of God to do all of these things as a son and daughter of God. That's how it's done. Again, this is not brought in a religious context. We are telling you there's a Creator because that's how your souls have been developed. Your souls have been born from a Creator. It has been born from a light womb. This conduit himself has seen how his soul was born. And he was able to see how many of your souls were born at the same time as well. Because there once existed a point in creation where every soul in the universe, pretty much, existed within the same realm. Countless souls ready to go into the vortex matrices into life that were a complete and total clean slate. Many of those souls were all the souls that were in this room right now, and more. So this is letting you know that your soul was born through a Creator. It does not matter if you believe in it or not. That's how it's happened. So therefore, as you connect back to that Father, to that Mother, and to that Creator, the essence comes upon you, because that's what you dedicate yourself with. And as you say, miracles will happen in that effect. All right?
Great. I get it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next question is Linda G.
The question was, how do toxins play a part in your body? So we elaborated a little bit more.
Thank you.
All right? Who are we speaking with next?
Linda G.
Linda, hello.
Hi, Adonis. Thank you for being here.
We thank you.
I didn't think I was going to be up here asking any questions.
Oh, well, that's
but
the Creator throwing curveballs at you.
I am at a point in my life where I'm very confused about what's happening.
All
It
right.
seems like sometimes I feel like I'm on the same earth, but I've moved to a different dimension.
Yes.
And things physically has been changing.
Yes.
One that has come up that's always been an issue, which is stomach issues,
Yes.
and for some reason it's very much intensified now.
Yes.
I don't know where I am or where I'm going or what's happening.
Well, the whole idea,
I'm very confused.
the whole idea is that you create your own roadblocks. You put yourself at the crossroads, because here's the idea. You're too busy focusing on tragedy. You're too busy focusing on trauma. You're too busy focusing on where am I supposed to be, rather than being able to be still to know where you're meant to be. So it's like we talked about with that screen door that closes behind many of you. When that screen door closes, it's giving you the time to reflect on everything that's happening in your reality so that you can improve yourself a lot more. So many of you are just very busy-minded. Many of you feel that you have so many obligations that you're doing. But who is it that's fulfilling the obligations? You yourself. Who is it that's creating the obligations? You yourself. Which means you keep yourself so busy and you don't give yourself a moment to actually reflect on the brilliance of yourself. And so you spend each and every single day, every moment within that day, worrying, concerning about what you're supposed to do to your energy, concerning about how you're supposed to be living, concerning about what you should do with this or what you should do with that. When have you given yourself a moment to breathe and feel the Creator with you? Not that much. So when that happens, you're putting all these roadblocks ahead of yourself. You're at your own crossroads. The crossroads do not come to anything outside of yourself. It's all through you. It's your emotions. You're the only one here. As you're the only one here, you're the one that decides your own actions, your own mentality, your own behavior, etc. But the Creator is beyond all that. So when you work with the Creator, You say, Creator, help me. I need to know exactly where I feel I am. And now the Creator will say, come to center. Listen to us. Feel our heartbeat right now. And now you come right to center, and now you know exactly where you are. You've given yourself time to breathe. You've given yourself a chance to look into your joy, into your love, because that's what truly guides you through life. It's love. When a person is inspired with love, they can't wait to get to work with that, because love is leading the way. When you're basically keeping yourself busy with all these nuances that really don't mean anything to you, you become stuck because you don't really care about what you're investing your energy into. So the key here in that sense is to work with love, to give yourself time to breathe, to allow yourself to elevate, to come to center. And when you do that, now you'll discover where love is pointing you. That's how it moves past the crossroads. All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Jessica C.
Jessica C., hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So I don't even know where to start, but
All right. How about this? Let's take a deep breath in.
okay.
Deep breath out. How about stamping your feet 4 times? How about throwing in 5 squats?
All right, I think I'm good. Yeah.
All right. We're going to get you to do some push-ups too.
So a lot of what you said really resonates with everything I've been going through with
All right.
a lot of synchronicities have been happening, and when you told me that 2020 is just going to be disclosure part 2, my heart dropped, because everything has been felt very challenging recently.
But that's, again, what you need to go through. Because it's not the idea of saying, oh, well, we're through half the exposure, so that's enough. No. The light's going to continue to shine. Now, you can be as depressed or feeling as heavy about it as you want, but it's because you still are validating what you feel you're impaired about. So if you're still feeling that you're holding on to emotions, doesn't mean that you have to be susceptible to that second year of disclosure. Meaning that as you get yourself together right now, you're actually happy that more things are being disclosed. You're actually happy that there's more exposure coming out, because this is helping you to grow on a love level. That's what all of this is attempting to do. It's say the end of the lies, the end of the corruption, the ends of lack of truth, and now comes the light. Now comes the love. Now comes the pure truth. Truth is raining down upon your planet right now, and it is dissolving away the lies. So what do you have to be afraid of other than the lies that you tell yourself that are going to be dissolved? Well, you know what, Adronis, I really like lies. Really, what have lies done for you recently? Oh, they've caused me to be impaired. They've caused my body to be in hurts. They caused me to have an improper diet. They caused me, well, really, I don't like it. Well, then what do you have to worry about? You're not concerned about trying to keep these lies, because that's, again, part of what you are attempting to shed away. It is the denial, it is the fear, it is the feeling that you must be conceited, that you must be complacent with yourself. Oh, I'm all fine and dandy, when you know you're not. So this is all being stripped away. You can't lie to the universe. You can't lie to the Creator. You can't lie really to others, because others that are becoming so highly intuitive will know that you're lying. So you want to stop giving yourself so much of a heavy subscription to what you feel you think you are, when you know that's not who you are. Don't be afraid to strip yourself down to find who you truly are underneath. And you want to welcome that in. Now that becomes your new canvas. That becomes your new skin. That becomes your new energy. That becomes your new world. You're not afraid to be who you naturally are. You're not here to appease anybody. You're not here to say, praise me, this is what I'm here to do. Oh, look at me, I'm saving all of you, etc. No, none of you can do that. You're here to be yourself and to be the catalyst of those that want to work with you, because the energy that you represent helps them out through your honesty, not through your lies. Get it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what you're here to do. Strip it all away, become bare naked, and allow the nakedness to now fit your new clothes, fit your new skin, fit your new reality. That's what's going to liberate you. So do not be afraid, because this year is exposure, disclosure. Next year is exposure, disclosure. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of shifting that into the next paradigm because you're becoming a new person. You're letting go of all those things that do not serve. Even your guides tell you this all the time. Strip it away. You don't need it. Become a newborn person. And now when you do, guess what it feels like? Wonderful. It's not painful. When you're yourself and you don't care what other people think about you because you feel this love, guess what? It's not a pain. It's a love. It's an appreciation. It's a beautiful, wondrous time to be alive when you're in that state. So why not go into that state full time, as often as you can?
So it's normal to feel emotionally exhausted right now?
Normal doesn't really exist. Normal is just something that you people tell yourselves and say, why isn't this person normal? Have you ever experienced a normal person on your planet?
No.
Not one of you is ever normal. You all have your unique twerks. You all have your unique fascinations with things. You all have your uniquenesses.
Yeah.
There has never been a normal human in all that you're existing. You're chasing phantoms by that.
Okay.
So you're not here to be normal. You're here to be yourself. You're here to be unique
Okay.
and to enjoy your uniqueness. We're quite crazy, and we love being that crazy because we are crazy about creation. We are crazy about the Creator. We are crazy about sharing love with all of you, and we love that kind of crazy. So be crazy with us.
Okay.
We have cookies.
Cookies and punch.
Enjoy a crazy cookie crunch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Ivita?
Ivita, hello.
Hello, Adronis.
Hello.
I have a question about meditation.
Yes.
Maybe few of people here is the same situation. I see colors
Yes.
for years,
Yes.
and I don't know what's the I know what is the meaning of the colors.
It's your emotions. Your emotions are being produced as colors. So, what type of colors are you seeing?
It's the violet
Yes.
and it's green.
All right. So, let's look at the violet first. What do you feel the violet represents?
Consciousness,
Expansion.
expansion.
Connecting to spirit. Working on higher levels of intuition. Bringing more of your spirit body into your awareness. The joy and the love and the insight. The appreciation you have for your spiritual self. Now, looking into the aspect of the green, vitality, nature, connection, detoxification. And again, a lot of this comes through respect. A lot of this comes through love of earth, love of nature, love of your environment. So, those are some ideas. So you are listening to your body through the form of colors, because that's how your aura naturally reacts. No, it's not linked to the chakra centers. The chakra center colors and the aura colors are different. They're not really in relationship. The chakra centers are aligned to specific colors because that's how they operate. That's what's keeping you in this dimension. It is the aspect of the colors that you feel through the aura that represent feelings, emotions, mentalities, behaviors. So that's what you're witnessing. Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right. Anything else?
No, thank you very much.
Ivita very much.
Rose.
Rose,
No?
hello.
Okay, I think Rose is going to pass.
All right.
Sorry. Helga?
Yes, wow. Thank you. First of all, I want to welcome you for coming here to the East Coast.
We thank you.
'Cause we-
now, we're
we love you.
basically anywhere we want to be, but
We'd love to see you.
is happy to be here. So, yes.
I have a lot of questions. I'm going to ask one.
All right.
See if this is interesting. I have heard, or I have thought
Was it
about
not
it.
interesting enough how it's already been?
Well, it's about Trump, okay? And something I had understood, and I don't know if it's fact or not, that he's a time traveler. He came here from the future to write something. Well, he was destructive to civilization. If that is the case, could you expand on his purpose? Because it's got to be pretty powerful. I mean, the guy never sleeps. He looks overweight. I understand he also may be autistic, and he has certain levels within his human life, but he's really not Well, can you expand on that?
You do know that many of you are time travelers, yes?
Yes, but I meant specifically him coming here to write something that
It's
he...
not really about traveling
Okay.
through time. It's about the idea that he is integrating other aspects into his being to fulfill a certain task that he is now aligning to, whether he is conscientious of it or not. He knows that he has a great love, a great passion. He knows that he's being guided to do everything that's necessary to fulfill goals that he's personally looking to achieve. Because really deep down, he loves your country to bits.
Oh, absolutely.
So again, this is all part of him, yes, being soldiers in other life, feeling that he's let people down in other lifetimes. It's a life of redemption for him.
It is. Okay, so, that's, I wonder if there's any truth
But again,
to that.
really, as you look into the aspect of time, many of you are beyond it. Because here's the thing, is that many of you come from other different universes where there have been other lifetimes taking place. And that those other universes that you are noticing, the memories are coming into you so that you're transforming into another person. The exact same thing is happening with him. He may not realize what's going on. If you were basically to give him all this spiritual talk, he wouldn't know what you're talking about.
No, I know that, of course.
His passion in that sense speaks for itself, but you see how he's transforming. You see how he has such a passion, because what he's doing in his own
It's
way
huge.
is helping to bring down an old corrupt empire, because he was never fitting with it in the first place. That's why he's here. We're not saying that we're Trump supporters in that way. We support every bit of humanity. He's part of humanity. We support that. But it's not to say in that sense, oh, you have to believe in this man or not. This is, again, just giving you an idea about how he has chosen to operate, because his passion speaks volumes with him. And that's what he is committing himself to, even if he has to get very little sleep, even if he doesn't eat properly. He doesn't care. He's going to do this until the day he dies. So even if he doesn't become president, he's still going to make his voice be heard in many different ways, because he wants to see a country that he is passionate about become strong again in another particular way that may not always be, shall we say, in the spiritual love path, but it's something in that sense to get the corrupt out. That's what he wants to do.
Well, the reason, right, and I ask this only because his role is so huge,
Yes,
so phenomenal.
But so are yours.
Above him.
None
Well,
of
I'm
you
not
have a
changing
least
the
or
world.
more important role than another. All of you have your own roles because your reality is as vast as a passion that you hold. You all have vastness within your own reality. We understand what you're trying to say,
Yeah,
but it does
I know
not
you do.
compare to the idea of one person's role over yours. He's acting the way he is because of all of you. You're many behind him. That's why he's able to do. So your role is just as important. Get it?
Yeah, I do. I just think his calling is so phenomenally, huge, and that he can hold.
He's
He
huge
hold his
because
own
of all of you.
and all the others that
If
have
there's
not been able
nobody
to.
listening to him, what happens? His role's not so huge. You're making him huge. Or as he says, huge.
Thank you very much.
All right? So
Thank you.
you're the ones bringing him that power. It is not him by himself. He is contributing through the collective. That's what makes him, in that sense, stand out. All right? We thank you.
Joanna?
Questions?
Do I have to stand?
Joanna, hello.
Yay. Hello, Adronis.
Hello.
I am super excited to be sharing this moment with you and everybody here.
Yes.
I have, how can I say this? Let me think. The last 2 years have been really heightened with downloads and information and
Memory retrieval.
memory retrieval, and I'm at the point now where I think I need to just shut up and be quiet and organize.
All right, take the microphone.
But I wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you guys, and all the love I want to send to you, because one of your most recent messages, you kind of got a little stern, which I think we needed, and you were saying how we need to start getting serious about where we are right now in time and what's happening, and it resonated deeply with me. My thing, I have a whole bunch of questions, but as I was thinking of questions before, I was getting answers, so now I don't really have questions, but I'm excited because I'm a teacher, and for years I've had all this info that I wanted to blurt out at people, but I couldn't unless the opportunity opened up, which was rare, and now it's more and more. my thing is children and kids, and I want to tell them everything, but I know they know already. I just know that they need to be reminded in our new earth, or what's coming in the future, new education. Can you give us a glimpse or an idea of how it could be? Because our education right now is broken.
Yes, and what's broken about your education is that many of you are trying to be the teachers of the children when really it should be the other way around.
Amen.
So,
amen to that.
when you start to feel joy, because that's what the children are teaching you, you have much more fun teaching them much of these basic fundamentals, your mathematics, your languages, your spelling, etc. All of that's being done, but they're giving you the heart of life.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes them prime teachers. So they're bringing you into the excitement of what it is to be a guide for them. So adults to children are guides. Children to adults are the teachers.
Beautiful. I
That's
believe
how it
that
works.
wholeheartedly.
All right. Now, there's a reason why many of you we have said to you that you need to take this seriously, because time is running short. It is. You have a window of opportunity before this harvest closes altogether. So this is why we say many of you get into states of preparation now. Work on yourselves, work on your practices, work on your inner development, because this is only going to last for so long. The train is eventually going to leave the station. The airplane is eventually going to take off, and the window is, of course, going to thin. So that is coming up. You do not have much time to explore yourselves. This is why we say, enrich yourself in as much time that you're willing to commit towards your own self-development and self-improvement, because that's what matters. It's not your jobs, it's not your money in your bank account, it's not your big homes, it's not your cars in your parking lot. It is you. That's what requires the most time. Give yourself as much of that time as you can to really evolve yourselves, open up your heart, and now you move into the next level. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marianne P.
I don't know which question to ask. Thank you, Jonas.
Hello, Marianne.
Hello. Oh, boy. I guess I'll ask
All right, so again, take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Stomp your feet. 5 squats.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Now, do you know why we say 5 squats?
No,
Do you know what we're trying to do? We're trying to eliminate your pride. When you are basically able to gladly do things that sound silly or look silly, your pride is eliminated. And guess what happens? You become clear. So, watch the conduit right now.
2, 3. Go deeper, deeper. Dig.
Give him a bit of a break. He has used a lot of energy communicating with us. But again, that's why we share what we share, because this is helping you to feel at ease. All right?
Okay.
Don't push a person because they're doing something in that way. Encourage them no matter how light it may be. All right? Now, do you feel better?
Yes.
Continue.
I was not going to ask a personal question, but I think that this might just turn into a more general question. When meditating, I go back a number of years where I do rotate around and around. And then sometimes it even goes down to the floor, or it had in the past, not so much now.
What do you mean you rotate around?
I orbit to the counterclockwise, and I find it's comfortable.
Very similar to what Brad is doing now.
Yes, but nothing, comes through, of course. What is that about?
This is all part of alignment. What you are doing is you're aligning yourself. So just as we told you about the squats, this is what you're doing as well. You're moving into a state of alignment so that you can be fully receptive and the pride is out of the way. Because Do many of you basically go into a restaurant and say, "Hi, how's it going? I would like to have a steak right now. Thank you very much." No. Because again, many of you stay within your pride in that particular way. So when you start to orbit in this particular way, there's an easement that you feel, do you not?
Yes, very much so.
And that's what it's doing. It's the continuity of a connection between one energy and yourself that's bringing you into this alignment of easement. It is a purification. This is why it's purifying you, because you are giving yourself into the flow of the movement itself, like a dance.
Wow. Wow.
When many of you start to enjoy dancing, you don't think about how you should step or how you should move, etc. You let the music move you. Well, that's all you're doing here. You're letting the energy move you. And now you become calmer and calmer because you continue to work in that practice. That's how your connection becomes purified between yourself and another energy.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
All right.
When your body moves in different directions, then when it goes straight forward or to the side or starts to swirl,
Again, this has to do with certain appropriations of alignment. But when you are orbiting in this particular way, just like the conduit is right now, it is moving in a counterclockwise direction, which is putting the physical energies up into the ether. If we were to change the direction, we are bringing the etheric energies in that way into the physical. So again, when you're moving into the clockwise direction, you're representing that of energies being grounded in from the ethers. When you're moving in a counterclockwise direction, you're taking your physical energy and putting it into the ethers. When you're going side by side, well, again, this all relates to different orientations. This may have to do in that sense, accompanying with certain levels of magnetics that your body requires to bring greater improvements in regards to its stability. It all depends. Everybody can do it in different ways, in different reasons.
so when you're putting it into the ethers, you are still getting a better understanding. It comes the other way?
It's your ego going up into the ethers. Your ego is not in the way.
Oh, okay.
That's why Brad's doing it this way. Ego's not getting in the way. That physical energy is moving itself, siphoning itself up into the ethers. So there's nothing contaminating this transmission. It is as pure as it can be.
That's good to hear.
Now, even though voice and words are distortions, that still represents a purity in regards to other contexts as it relates to the ego words and ego voice.
I'm comforted by what you said.
All right.
Thank you.
We thank you. So again, put it into practice. It becomes your answer. Thank you.
Marianne?
Marianne number 2, please come up.
Number 1.
All right. Marianne number 1B.
Correct. Thank you. Dealing with toxins, illness.
Yes.
In my family. I feel like I'm concentrating on my children more than myself.
Yes.
And I don't think that's a mistake.
No.
Is there a particular process from the geometric shape healing with your children?
Well, firstly, we would say, what's stopping you from doing it at the same time as with your children? What's
Nothing.
stopping you from having a full group cooperation?
Nothing.
That's it. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
So it's not just you standing there like a drill sergeant and saying, all right, do this, do that, do this, do that. It's the idea that you are in cooperation. You're creating a cooperative. You're creating a circle here. That's the geometry. And when you're putting that geometry into practice where you're all participating, your children will want to do it more because you're participating in it as well.
And where do you need to heal the family negative energies that may have taken?
Your own emotions.
Your own emotions.
You cannot heal another's emotions. You're healing your own.
Okay.
So you need to create the emotions to giving you the idea that these emotions are causing conflicts in the family because they're mine. So I am therefore healing those. I no longer feel conflicts within that, and your reality shifts because you have corrected that.
Excellent.
It's not about healing someone else. It's about healing you. People are cooperating with you because they are in the same energetic as you are. And now it's a dance, a cooperation. But you're the one that has these particular emotions, feeling the way it does, that gives any particular aspect of conflict. Once that's resolved, your reality shifts in that state of appropriation.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carolyn. Oh.
She's not standing up.
What was my question? I've forgotten. Hi.
What is your name? Carolyn?
Carolyn.
Carolyn, hello.
So you mentioned the idea that 5G and really any vibration that is out of alignment with our ability to embody light
Yes.
can be transmuted.
Yes.
And is already...
Nothing is impossible.
Right.
Well, Adronis, what about this? Well, Adronis, what about that? Well, Adronis, what about this other thing? Nothing is impossible. Period.
So my guess, for my frame, my guess would be that that's another example of an opportunity to just embody more light.
Yes.
And so...
Because here's what many of you just experience when you're actually doing your inner work. You're not affected by the frequencies because they're immediately canceled out. You enrich the air that you breathe. You enrich the energy that surrounds your space because you pour love into everything.
So the fear
That's what makes it become completely canceled out, rendered inert.
The fear of 5G creates the
fear
power
of you
of
being
5G.
contaminated by that energy.
Right. So
we're not saying that it certainly cannot be a contamination. It can be. But again, if you buy into that idea, you're basically allowing it to hurt you a lot more because now you become a victim of it. Whenever you're a victim of something, your own immunity drops. Your own integrity of your body drops. Your energy field drops. And so basically you become a victim of that energy, and now it starts to invade. Because you feel that, and you're the one pouring it into yourself. You're the one attracting it energetically and pulling it into yourself like a cord stuck in the center of your chest. You're the one that's making that happen. When you know and saying, I know there's 5G, but it's not going to touch me at all, and you feel this light and this love flowing through you, everything transmutes, and it won't touch you at all.
okay. Is there anything else that you need for us to hear?
You have the capability to do everything and anything. As we stated, the more that you connect with the Creator and the essence of the Creator is placed upon you, you will do the Creator's work. And when we say that, your life will be truly wondrous and unbelievable, really.
Already
because
is.
You'll be able to move mountains. You'll be able to part the seas. We're not exaggerating with that. Person who has that deep level of faith is able to do that. Jesus was one example of this.
Thank you.
There are even ancient masters that existed way before him that did even more wondrous things than he did. He was only that master of your current age. But basically, when you look at many of the ancient masters of the Orient, of the ancient East, they did far more wondrous things than he did. And many of those masters are even higher in elevations of consciousness than he is. So again, he was just the master of your current age. A powerful one, yes, but just one out of many. There is another who could do wondrous things as well too. He was referred to as Ramtha, who could also do wondrous things. And we talked to him quite a bit. So, question time. Any other questions?
Julia.
Julia, hello.
She might have left. Okay, next one.
We say hello to her spirit then.
Jose.
Jose, hello.
How you doing, Adronis?
You're wonderful as always. How are you?
It is a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Well, we're not really here, but thank you. We're basically receiving you through like a telephone connection in that way. So in that sense, no long-distance charges apply.
That's a good to know.
All right.
A friend of mine asked me to ask you a question. He said that if we are receiving some signal from the moon that interferes with our personal evolutions And also, there's a signal like beam out through the TVs and devices.
Your moon is an anchor. That's why the moon is here. It weighs the planet down. That's why you're in a third density. The moon is quite responsible for that. The orientations of your planet, as they're connected in that way, is also responsible for that. But the moon represents like an anchor, a heavy paperweight, you could say. And that's what's actually anchoring your energy in this dense vibration. But because the Earth is moving into such a state of elevation, the moon isn't going to be able to hold the dense frequency any longer. It has basically maxed itself out, and it can't keep up with the vibration that's coming upon your planet. It's too strong.
Okay.
So you're going to move up to fourth density whether you have a moon on your orbit or not.
It's good to know. He also said that, well, I guess at this point, if there's anything that we can do, like to protect ourselves from...
We just told you in regards to the previous question. With love, everything is possible. So again, please repeat after us. Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is
period.
impossible.
All right. Now we also have a simple little gesture exercise for all of you as well. How can you connect to spirit more? How can you connect to your divine energies more? So follow our pattern that we do here. And that pattern will start off with open. So you're just opening yourself up like this. Trust. Interpret. Open. Trust. Interpret. Open. Trust. Interpret. So you're following those gestures specifically calibrated for this audience to giving you an idea about what to remember, because as you do the gestures themselves, this speaks louder than words. So as you open yourself up, as you trust the Creator, you walk the path forward. Therefore, interpretation. All right? That's what's important, because if you're closed off to everything, how do you expect to receive anything new? If you do not trust yourself, how do you expect to process the information? If you do not interpret it, how do you not expect to put it into action? So that's what you're doing. Let yourself be open. Let yourself trust. Let yourself move forward and interpret what you receive. All right? That's what we recommend for all of you to try. Keep doing those gestures. Open. Trust. Interpret. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
What is your current time? 3:46. All right. We were happy to take 2 more questions.
Is there another Marianne? Marianne C. Or no? Marianne.
1C.
Okay. Okay, Anita.
Oh. Actually. All right. I had a couple, actually.
Hi, Anita.
Hi.
Does Anita hug?
Of course.
All right. I need to hug.
I will be happy to do that.
All right.
Feel hugged.
How can we help you today?
Well, I had heard that it was possibly important to change where we live, possibly before this change.
Impossible to change where you live. Again,
Yeah.
here's that thing. Again, nothing is impossible. Period.
Well, no, if we need to
Open,
change, I should
trust,
say.
interpret.
Yes. Is it important to move from away from a
Is Spirit
city?
telling you to move?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. It's not uncertain of this. It's only sometimes, because you are only choosing to hear it, and sometimes you're choosing not to.
Possibly.
Spirit is not confused. You get
Okay.
confused. Spirit doesn't. Are you meant to move right now? Yes. But again, you're still acting up and saying, where should I move? What should I do? Et cetera, et cetera. Stop what you're doing and listen. You will be guided to a certain place. A place that you may want to check out at first, to feel the vibrations and saying, yes, I would love to live here. There you go. You're paving your path for that to happen.
Excellent.
So listen. Trust the process. Move forward.
Excellent.
All right?
I also wanted to ask about being more open. One of the things that okay, here I'm doing it on being taped here. I help people heal. I help people get off their medications. I help people in lots of ways. So I've been kind of doing it under the covers in a way.
Yes.
And I feel like now it's time to really come out and not be in fear of, being jailed or whatever, or killed.
Jailed?
Yes. Jailed or killed, because that's what happened to people.
That is the fear that's preventing you from opening further.
So I'm
Because again,
starting
if you
to come
feel
out.
that if I go out the open, I'm going to be exposed, I'm going to be vulnerable, I'm going to be a target, that's what's preventing you from being open more. So how about this in that idea? You are doing healing because that is your natural ability to do. If you're basically looking into, in that sense, a physical fear like that, that's what's preventing you from doing the work that you've come here to do. So you need to let that go. You need to release it. You need to bring it into love, because that's lack. All lack will be completely extinguished by the love that you bring into yourself. So love yourself to go deeper, to go into greater extensions of consciousness. You have to also understand there are many who are doing similar work to yourself, and you can partner up with them. You can connect with them. You work together. You are not a lone wolf here. Work with other people that are around you. Get to know others who are doing similar work to you and create that partnership, or again, a group consciousness. Now you're not alone. You all have each other's backs, but you're doing it with great love and great care. You're not concerned about any forms of consequences that you yourself invent. Because everything that you just said is an invention of yourself. It's something that you have hypothesized through ego-based fear. So you want to dissolve that lack with love. That's how it works.
Beautiful.
All right? Great. That's how you open yourself up more. The only thing that's preventing you from opening yourself up completely is fear. You want to look at what that fear is. I don't feel I want to go outside. I think I might get hurt. I don't want to do this. What if people reject me? What if I feel abandoned or abused by my work? That's what's preventing you from going to that next level, to opening up yourself vastly. All right? So that's a reminder for all of you. So put that into practice. That becomes your answer.
Beautiful.
We're
Thank
happy
you.
to take the last question, please. Thank you.
Jean.
Jean.
Oh, I didn't see you.
Good question here. Hi, Adronis.
Hello.
This may have been answered in earlier things, but I'm going to read it as I wrote it, which was, what do you suggest as the best steps to take beyond holding love and high vibration when the people in your immediate close family are or seem to be on a different plane of perception?
Let them be on a different plane of perception, because it's not your job to save them. Love is the only way. There is nothing else to do. So what happens when you're in love, everyone? You move up.
You resonate.
You move up into higher depth perception of reality, because love is leading the way. It's giving you a greater vantage point. It's when you're in ego fear that you're down here so close to the ground, you can't even really see what's ahead of you, because you're so low to the ground. It's base vibration. So when you move into love vibration, escalates, powerful surge, moving you up into higher grounds. And now you see everything around you, because that's what love does. Love lightens you up. And it's not about the idea of saying, I need to save these people, I need to save my family, I need to save my friends. You can't. They have free will, just as you have free will. If you try to feel that you are saving them, you're being a tyrant to them. Even if you say, oh, my work's all about love, etc., then why are you forcing it down a person's throat?
Yeah, so true.
That's not how love works. Love is open. It is available. It is constantly flowing in a stream of beauty. It never dominates. It never dictates. It never becomes a tyrant or in any form of totalitarianism. It is here for you. You simply be the greatest love that you feel you can. And whoever in that sense chooses to magnetize together with your energy will do so. It's not your call to try and change a person relating to that. All right? So don't try to change your family. Let them be exactly where they need to be, because that's what they have chosen. The perspective of their reality prefers. They may not go the same path that you do. But if you truly love them, you love them enough to know that they have chosen this path. Think of it as the Creator. If the Creator in that sense demanded that all of you follow this particular path, would he really be answering you with love? No. He'd be answering you with conditions. And that's not how it works. The Creator loves all of you so much that he or she will allow you to completely deny that they exist. That is pure love. Because at some particular point, you'll discover the road of love and saying, oh my goodness, there is a Creator. So if you become a dominant part of someone's life because you're saying, oh, I'm just trying to get them to understand love. No, you're not. Yeah. You're trying to get them to understand your control. That's not love. Be the love that you are. Be the example of it, and do nothing more. Let them make up their own minds, as they are a free will being just as you are. All right?
Yes, thank you.
Very important.
Thank you so much.
We thank you all for the opportunity of this interaction today. We will now conclude and return to the conduits. Goodbye for you all, and we'll speak to you again in another perspective of the now.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you so much. I think we're pretty close to 2 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and wrap up now. And of course, John D'Souza will be here next to do his wonderful presentation. I'll be in the audience as well, too. So again, if you guys do have private session requests for Adronis, just go to my website. It's newearthteachings.com. Okay, so if you need the email, just ask, or the website again, just come up to me afterwards, newearthteachings.com, okay? And I do private sessions on Skype, on phone, anywhere in the world, so you guys can contact me for sessions. I do healing sessions on there as well, too. Tomorrow, I have another presentation at 12 p.m., and that's going to be about cellular body regeneration. And that's going to be teaching you about healing. So, right, you can take what this is about, and you can apply it into your work as well, too. So there will be somewhat of a configuration of a teaching of it, but it's going to give you more so the philosophy of it. And we're also going to be looking into spirit codes, working directly with spirit, working with the Creator, and bringing that into your practice as well, too. Okay? So that's happening tomorrow at 12 p.m., and feel free to come by for that as well, too. All right? Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Much love to you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I have my booth out here as well, too. After John's session, I'll be there for a little bit, and then I'll be packing it in a bit earlier today. So thanks, guys. Enjoy the next presentation.